Talk about the iMap Weather Radio version 2.0. It's a vast improvement over the original weather radio app that came out about a year ago. And what this app does is it basically turns your iPhone into a virtual weather radio using your GPS coordinates or pre-programmed locations in to basically send a push notification to your phone and tell it to sound the weather radio. A few months ago, WDT Inc., who makes iMap Weather Radio, and other iMap products, acquired a company called Base Velocity, who makes another app called RadarScope. RadarScope is the de facto awesome radar app for the iPhone for student enthusiasts. Has a lot more customization and so forth other than your just basic composite maps that you might get off the Weather Channel. You can pick up RadarScope in the App Store. Just search for RadarScope and download that to your iPhone or iPad. I'm going to start off by showing how a warning works on the iMap Weather Radio, and then after that I'll go through downloading, installing, and configuring it. Okay, so we're talking about iMap Weather Radio here today. What I've done is, you can see we have a tornado warning out here for the storm. It's out around Waycross, Georgia right now. My iPhone's sitting here. What I've done is I've programmed iMap Weather Radio I told it I'm sitting here in Brantley County, Georgia. I don't know how to say the name of that town, so I'm not going to try and mangle it. But let's see what happens when that tornado warning gets extended out here. It probably will shortly. The tornado watch. There we go.
National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning.
Okay, so what happened there was obviously it popped right up. Also, we have a tornado warning.
National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning.
We can jump right into the app here. It's going to bring us right up to where we're at. It's loading the audio.
Tornado warning remains in effect until 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Western Brantley and Central Pierce counties. At 1:13 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, National Weather Service meteorologists continued to track a tornado. This tornado was located near Blackshear, moving east at 45 miles per hour. The tornado will otherwise remain over mainly rural areas of the indicated county. Precautionary preparedness actions, if in mobile homes or
So anyway, there's a good idea of exactly what's going to happen when you do get a push notification. You do get that first amount of noise, and then you do have to go into it to actually get the audio into the program. You can find this in the App Store under iMap, and then it shows up on my list at least as the third one. It is $9.99. As with most of the Base Velocity apps, they charge a little bit more because the apps are very, very good. So, I've already installed this on my iPhone, so let's go ahead and fire it up for the first time. The first time I fire it up, it's going to come up and ask you to enter a partner code. I'm not exactly sure what this has to do with, but it probably has a lot to do with the next screen where it's going to ask to enter your home zip code. Now, this isn't necessarily where it's going to monitor. What it's asking you for is your zip code, so if there's a television station partnering with iMap or whatever, that they can give you specialized content. Now, I don't have a station that participates in my area, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter in a Wichita zip code because I know that Cake in Wichita offers that customized content. You can see it pulled up Cake. When I select it, now it's telling me to make sure that that's the one I want because I can't change it later, but I found that if you uninstall and reinstall the app, you can change it as many times as you want. It's going to ask me if I want to receive alerts for up to 5 saved locations, plus the location wherever I'm at. I'm going to tell it I want to do that now. And the reason I'm going to do that is because we'd kind of like to have this thing go off when there's some severe weather. And there's no severe weather in Atlantic, Iowa right now, so we need to put someplace where there's severe weather. Wants to know if I want to use my current location. Well, yes, most definitely. I want it to go off when there's a tornado or thunderstorm warning in my area. Under locations, I'm going to go ahead and jump in. And I know that there is severe weather in Georgia today, so I'm going to enter in a county in the zip code here where there is some tornado warnings today so that we can get warnings on that area. So we added our locations in. Different things you can go through the app and do here is you can set which types of alerts that you want to get warnings on. They've done a pretty good job of picking alerts that most people care about. Um, flood warnings, floods, winter storm warnings, so forth. And they've left off ones that people probably don't necessarily care about knowing instantaneously about, such as a blowing snow warning or an ice storm watch or a heavy freezing spray watch. Obviously, you can go through this and select whichever ones you want to listen to. Background tracking, this is something that I really like over the old version. The thing about the old version is that it would hold your GPS open all the time. So it would just drain your battery, in my opinion, and nothing flat. So now you can come in, you can be a little bit more specific. You could say, I want to be less accurate to get longer battery life, or I can be more accurate to, get more accurate readings, but it's going to shorten the battery life. Notifications. Basically, to do the notifications, you're going to go back into the settings app within the iPhone settings and set those up. Let's go back to the main page here. You can see it's brought up a cake lamp page. You could come up, open up a radar. This is basically just going to give you a composite of what's going on right now. I said we had some storms down here earlier today. There's some tornado warnings issued right now, including where we had set up. You can see the tornado warning boxes. You can see the watch box for the tornado watch, and so forth and so on. You can animate it. Everything works really, really slick on this. You can go in, you can be a little bit more specific with what you want to see on the map. You can say that you want to see a standard map or a satellite map or the roads and everything combined. You can say you want to see the radar or the clouds. Determine the opacity, how thick, the radar image is over the top of the screen. And alert legend, you can see if you have tornado warnings or watches or whatever across the top of the screen. One other thing I like about the new app is that you can, if you set up that partner station, as you can see I have Cake set up top there. You can come in, and if they have a video feed going, you can watch that. And it takes us just a few seconds to load up, and then it'll pull up the whatever the station's broadcasting. Cake has a feed on their website that constantly runs the current temperature and the radar image back and forth. Also, when there's severe weather, Cake will break in on this web channel and keep the public informed. Now, unlike a typical weather radio where it's just constantly playing back, the feed as it's being broadcast, what's nice about weather or iMap weather radio is that you can go in to the location and actually play back the alerts that have been saved over time.
The National Weather Service has issued Tornado Watch 69 until 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this evening, which replaces a portion of